here, in my opinion, are the top three hardest maps to defend on in Rainbow Six Siege. Now, these are just my opinion and could honestly change at any moment in the future. But as of right now, this is how I feel about them. And these will not include casual maps like Yacht and freaking Stadium, like crap like that. This will only include maps that are ranked. So let's get into it. Number three, we have Bank as an honorable mention, or not number three, but as an honorable mention. Yeah, Bank. I just think this map, one, it's very large. Now, you could say that's good because you can like roam and crap like that. But the downside of that is, okay, one, all you have to do is literally watch like one set of stairs right here. And two, I mean, this map is basically just a giant soft wall. All this, like if you're buck, like I like going buck a lot. I mean, you could just like remove all of this and you could have a field day. If you're an Ash player, buck player, maybe like sledge, like I mean, you can get open all these walls. Now again, there would be defenses and stuff in here, and they could just reinforce all this, but like most of the time, especially if you're in like maybe a lower rank, they're not going to enforce a lot of these walls. So like this one right here, this definitely like I don't even think I've seen anyone reinforce this wall in a very long time. And you can just kind of run through here if you have soft breaches. There's not really any hard breaching places in here, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Also, I mean that was mainly for the second floor. I do think it. No, so, second floor isn't the hardest site to defend on this map, but I do think overall, if you have any like breachers or anything like Buck or Ash or stuff like I said earlier, I mean you can just kind of make as many rotates as you want and just have a field day. Now going back to the other sites here, like first floor again, at it like, and this is one of the problems with Bank. It is a huge site, so there are multiple like entry points for Texas to come through. Like you can come through here, you can come through the basement, you can come through like the other door over there, you can come through that window right there, and you can just kind of like remove this entire wall if they don't reinforce it. And you could get Vert, although it's not great right here. Like, is this all? No, okay, it's not. But again, not a very easy site to defend on because it's just so open. I would go like the more attacker side of maps are the maps that are smaller and primarily soft walls. Bank isn't small, but it's small enough and it does have a bunch of soft walls. So that's one reason I said it was an honorable mention. Now, if you go down to basement, this is probably the hardest site to attack on in this map because you could like set up a mirror like right here. You can defend from like tunnel over there on the stairs, which is what I usually do. But it is basically impossible to defend from garage like back here. Now, I mean, of course, I'm not saying like you can absolutely like attackers can't just walk right in, but like in terms of you stopping them from getting to, like over there, to, like right here, it's like I mean, unless you have a guy just sitting around like behind like the ambulance, like I used to do, kind of, it's really not going to work out too well. And not to mention, but there are literally one, two, and let me count. Where's the last one? Oh, no, not the last one. Four, three, and back here, four hatches. There are four hatches on this one site. So you got to watch out for a lot of different places. So that's already four of like, your walls taken up just from hatches if you decide to reinforce all of them, which most people don't. And there's this right here, this site, not very hard to get into if you like successfully take elevator or stairs. And then once you get here, you got to worry about, are they going to swing this way or are they going to wrap around and swing this way? So it's just kind of. But that's baked for now. It is definitely possible to win like defenders rounds on this. I did put as an honorable mention because it's not like technically Siege as a game is defender sided. Like because the defenders will always have the time to set up the sites, to set up their utility, and hold the angle. But also, you do have to worry about like these windows up here. Another thing I forgot. I've died so many times from people just rappelling up as fast as they can to, I don't know, get up here. And these right here. I've tried to set like mirrors up here to stop people from like, you know, like just running around breaching these and like coming into the janitor's closet right here. But it really doesn't work because they can just ash it or like use A's or there's just so many places to attack from on this site, but it is only in the honorable mentions, so it's not the worst. It's manageable. Here at number 3, I have Emerald Plains. Now, this might make some people mad because I know a lot of people do kind of like, well, there's a group that kind of likes Emerald Plains, and like other people say it's terrible. A lot of people say it's really good or underrated. I used to be the one to say it's underrated, and I still think to an extent it is, but I think overall it is pretty attacker sided, kind of like Border, but a bit worse. Like what I like to do, I will sit on this window and bait. Honestly, like, that's one of my favorite things to do on this map, because I don't know, it's just super easy, and then like especially works in lower ranks when people don't really know how to deal with it as much. But overall, it kind of again has the same problems as Border. It's huge. There are a ton of soft walls in the map, or the site layouts really aren't that good. The problem with this, if this room did not exist, it would be a lot different. But since this room exists, it is very easy to kind of just take site. I mean, if you take this room, you like kind of win the game. Like not fully, but you kind of win if you take this room. Because like you could breach into here, plant, and once you get here, you've probably already taken over the hallway too. And you don't really have to watch out for people flanking. Not really. I mean, you only have to worry about the stairs and people coming through here, but it's so far away that, like, I don't know. Plus, this layout right here is, like, criminally worse. I mean, it looks cool and all, but, like, if you're defending from here, all these are soft walls that you can't reinforce, so you can get wall banged really easily if you're up here. Like, you're coming through here, and it's just a mess. Also, there's this huge breach, so if you're in this site right here, not the one most people go, but up here in the paintings room, there's this you have to worry about. I mean, and you could be walled and all, sure, but I mean, there's also like, shoot, this window right here. You got to worry about that. You got to worry about, you got to worry about this window. You got to worry about the stairs. You got to worry about people coming in through the original, like, whatever. This isn't meeting. I mean, that's meeting room, but like the other meeting room, like here. So there's all that good stuff you gotta worry about. But then in this room over here, the printing room, I think is the, yeah, well, like whatever this place is. I don't know how I remember it. There's the breach right here. Now, I haven't noticed as many people that breach through there, like I used to. Like I used to attack from there a lot. I feel like when I first started out, most people did, but most people now will, of course, attack through green stairs. They'll attack through like these sort of windows over here. And this area is huge. Also, you really don't want to be a defender in here and swinging this because, I mean, it's like this is a complete mess having a window. I mean, the only real counter to this is just bringing a castle. But in my opinion, and this might be a hot take, castle's kind of becoming more and more relevant. Because, like, when you think about it, like, how many operators counter castle? It literally anyone with frags, with, like, soft or hard breaches, and, like, Ash, Sledge, anyone with, like, Flores. Like, they're honestly, well, I'm starting to think more and more of that. Whenever faces castle becoming more and more relevant over time. Um, Overall, yeah, Emerald Plains pretty attacker sided. Like the only real easy site to defend is this, like the standard site that people go. But after this, that's literally it. Like this site is not a nightmare to defend, but it's really tough because like you can once they take this room, it gets really, really hard to defend from it since there's also this. Most people use this as like a rotate, like what I like to do. I like to make a rotate here. I'll reinforce this wall, and like make a rotate here. Reinforce those two walls. I'll set up like maybe a castle or something if I'm going him. But overall, yeah, like there are too many rooms the attackers can take that kind of make it a huge problem. Um, I keep forgetting this is literally the site to the second second floor option. But like once they take either one of the sites, it's like you really can't come back. I guess there are two different like flanking routes kind of, but it's not as like I don't know. At least for me and my site, we don't roam a whole lot. I'm starting like I haven't gotten into lobbies where people roam as much. But again, this map is huge, and don't even bother going first floor. Don't even bother. Like it's a complete mess. These sites are pretty freaking terrible. And I'm also going off of how good the map is overall. Like I'm not just going to count second floors and basements. Like you got to consider the whole map, like as a whole, how easy it is to defend and attack on. But Emerald Plains, like if you're going first floor, I mean, you might as well just like you might as well say GG's. I mean, this map, it's a mess on the two first floor options. Second floor, it's not that easy to defend. I only slightly put it ahead of Bane because I feel like it's more like close quartered, and they're still like almost just as many soft walls. So that's kind of the only reason. But they're both like neck and neck. I could put Bank over it maybe, but as for now, I'm going to keep Emerald Plains over it. But that's just me. All right, at number two, this might not be too surprising for some people, but I'm going with Canal because the only, and this is just me, but the only site that's like kind of not too bad to defend on is just second floor. I mean, that's like most sites in this game, but it's so bad because like I genuinely think every other site is like not impossible to defend on, but it just sucks. Like it just flat out sucks. But starting with second floor, of course, the main thing you have to worry about is the breach. That's probably party number one. If not party number one, probably Tunnel, but we'll get to that in a second. But you basically have to bring Wall Denial or you're probably going to lose. Because like if they get this open, it's going to be really hard to defend against. Because once you breach this open, the only places you have to worry about are like to the right of you. Because usually no defenders will roam in hallway or the tunnel, whatever it is, because that's where most attackers usually push from. Or like if it's not here, it's most likely going to be through the hall right here. If they're not pushing main breach. But what most people will do, they'll make like footholds here, which is like what I'd say a good 90% of people do that play second floor on this map. And they'll like reinforce this wall, but even if they do or don't reinforce this, you really don't have to worry about what's going on in the hallway. Because honestly, if you just like open these windows up and crap, it just basically like shuts down most of your worries to your hard right. But no one's really going to be here because that is like kind of a direct line of sight. Like I literally, and it's in one of my shorts, I just shot through the barricade. He had this door barricaded. I just shot through, headshot him, didn't even see him. So this is in their direct line of sight, about right here. So that's got you covered. The only other place you have to worry about is normally here because people like 90% of the time make a rotation, at least I do, like in this wall, and right here. So once you take this room right here, all you have to worry about is there or there, like right there. And it's even worse once you get a guy, let's say he successfully pushes up the stairs or jumps in through windows and takes hallway. Now, if you're a defender, you have to worry about them holding angles right here, or like making a hole in the wall because this map is also pretty close quarters and it's just a giant software. Like these, again, are the sites that, in my opinion, are the hardest to defend that are really close quarters and they're softball. So unless you literally reinforce all this, which I normally do not see from like 90% of people that play this game, I mean, I guess you do if you're a high rank. I don't know. I'm not really that good, but if you're not, like if you're Buck or Ash, again, you're gonna have a field day because once you get these walls open, like you basically already lost once the defenders take main breach and they get a bunch of uh like if Buck opens up the walls here or Ash, one of those. Like if they do that, you probably lose. And tunnel, this is probably the second most common attacked place on second floor. Once you get through this window, if you manage to take it, it's just you and whoever gets in front of you. Some people will sit behind the computers or whatever is right there, but once you get here, all you have to do is worry about that side or to your hard right. Now that can be a lot sometimes, but let's say you successfully open the breach right. Well, now you don't even have to worry about whoever's over there. You just have to worry about who's in front of you, or they're going to be like usually over there. If they open the breach, they're usually going to be out of sight from over there. But if the attackers open that window from over there, you can't sit over there because you'll just die from the angle they're holding. So you're pretty much not completely safe, but you're basically good if they get that breach open and someone's on the window. So now it's just you and that room. They could be hard. They could be left or they could be right. But if you're a Buck or Nash, if you open these walls, then they're going to basically be forced to come this way and get kind of stuck in this room or take a gunfight with them. So if you play your cards right, you basically can, or the defense can basically collapse within just like a minute or two. Again, this is a pretty, I'm not going to say it's a balanced site, it's still attacker sided, but out of every side on this map, it's pretty like like it's not defender sided, but it's the least attacker sided like out of all the sites. So I mean that's just me. I don't know how other people feel, but I mean I've successfully defended on it a bunch, but sometimes if the other team knows what they're doing, it's very difficult. But moving on to the first floors, I mean really no explanation here. Most first floors on this site are not very easy to defend. I mean, no, most first floor sites in this game are not very easy to defend against. You're mostly always going to go second or second floor basement. Over here, I mean, I will say it does feel more balanced on this side, which is kind of one of the more rare cases in my opinion, but I mean, look at all these enders. Here, like stairs, if they go second floor, they can just walk down here, and they can just Buck or Ash open soft for anything. Open up that. There's the window, and then there's just this long hallway over here that you also got to worry about with all these windows. So, I mean, I'd say it's about as balanced as the top floor, but again, still more attacker sided. And over here, this is, I'm not going to say the most attacker sided on, it's either this or basement, and which I'll get to basement in a sec, but I mean, look at this. This is a complete mess. Like, this is a disaster of the site. Like, look at all this room and look at all this software. That's just all I gotta say. Like, you can attack from, it's basically pick your poison. You could try to defend from this room, which I forget this room even exists sometimes, honestly. But again, it's just a lot of stuff you gotta worry about. You gotta worry about people coming in from the stairwell right there, pretty much everywhere. And this is the worst part about this map, is that the basement site, for some reason, is very attacker-sided. This whole roof right here is all soft wall. So if you go Ram or Buck or anyone with soft reach, it is like disgustingly easy to get vert on somebody. And they're like these two just giant soft walls right here for absolutely no reason. You can just annihilate all of that, and you have just a giant window straight in the side. Also, right here. Now, for my thing on defense, I like to go mirror. Put a mirror right here on the soft wall so I can like get an angle onto the doorway right there, and get a doorway into like a sight on the door and in the bathrooms, because a lot of people like to kind of attack from there. Most people I've noticed like to attack from stairs right here and this window, specifically this. I'm not really sure why. I don't think it's a great place to attack from, But if you know no one's in here, all you have to do is hop in, and there's only right here, or like some people might sit right here. At least not for me. But all you gotta worry about is the places to your right, and that's literally it. From there, you could probably just drone people out, and again, if you have like someone sitting on the stairs with like breaches, you could just have them open up all this if they don't if like they don't reinforce all of it. So again, very easy to kind of get walls open around here, and just way too many things you got to worry about as a defender. But again, that is just me, MIO. All right, at number one, this really shouldn't be anyone's surprise. It's Lair. Now, of all these maps, I think these have been pretty subjective. Like a lot of different people might have a lot of different opinions on what like the most attacker side of maps are, but I think most of like everyone that plays Siege will agree that Lair is one of, if not the most attacker side of maps in this game. The only site that is remotely like hard to attack on is second floor, of course. Like, really, if you're on this map on defense, all you got to worry about is this door, because like that's where 90% of attackers come from there. Or, I mean, about maybe two people will push from this hallway over here. But again, and this is a recurring theme, pretty close quarters with a bunch of soft walls. You gotta worry about the breach right here. So you kind of have to bring wall denial. Like if you're in a decent rank, they're gonna bring thermite and just blow this open. You gotta worry about people coming in from this room, which I have absolutely no idea why this exists. I guess some defenders. Okay, what the? I guess some defenders might use this as like a rotate, maybe. But I have absolutely no idea why this room exists. Most people don't take advantage of it. I usually don't, but that's literally because I can win on attack just from pushing from here because of how like easy it is to just kind of pick off people from this room. All you have to do is breach this or make a rotate in this wall as an attacker. Now, I usually bring mirror right here so I can like shut off people from coming in there. All you gotta do is attack. If you take this side, you basically win. I mean, you literally can't do anything. I mean, I guess that's like most maps. Once you take one site, defenders will have trouble stopping you from planning. But like for this, it's kind of insane. Like you're pinched into this room. If you have a guy, you can literally just have an attacker holding angles on this room if they even try to like think about flanking. If they do flank, all you have to worry about is this hallway, which I mean most people don't really go in too much anyway. But again, I mean this site's not terrible to defend on. It's just not great. Now going into first floor right here. This is where things kind of get pretty freaking dicey. I have absolutely no idea why this is like a breach right here. Honestly, I keep forgetting that even exists too. There's this just giant. I don't even know what this is. Like, it's so easy for attackers to just kind of like walk down here, and then there's this giant wall right here. You basically have to bring. Again, you kind of have to bring wall denial to even have a chance of defending this. This one, okay, those two sides up there aren't like terrible. This one, they're both bad, but they're not terrible. Like it's not terrible to defend on this side, but it's definitely not anywhere close to being easy. Now, here's where things. Okay, well, I'm gonna wait to get on to that place down there. And then there's this room. I mean, you're an attacker. Some people, I usually don't push from here, but a lot of people kind of just like to walk through this room because literally there's only one doorway that you can defend on. There's literally only one doorway. And there's this wall. Now, some people might try to bring like a mirror or like have a reinforced wall and hold an angle. But other than that, if you can have a guy like, and this what makes the site kind of awful. If you have a guy hold this doorway, they basically cut off a lot of places in this room. Because look where you are. There's only one place the defenders can actually kind of flank you or like run around and kill you from. It's literally right here on this little thing. Like if you're saying right here, if this giant like metal wall didn't exist right here, a defender could just run up and shoot you trying to hold the angle. But there's this giant steel block right here that blocks them from seeing you, so they have to run up around you and then kill you. Like, and by the time they even get there, you're probably just going to hear them. And I mean, this camera, you might as well just forget about that. They're going to shoot it. Um, yeah, I mean that's mostly it. Getting to the site, not very difficult at all, especially if you run like. And also, the hatches on this site are very hard to defend on because once they drop, like if you take this room and they drop hatch, you lose. Like it's as simple as that. Because once you drop, they don't have an angle on the hatch right here. I mean, I guess you can kind of nitpick and like hold it right here, but there's a soft wall right here, so you can't really do that. So they'll just kill you. Now moving on to last, but definitely not least, well, whatsoever, is basement. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. This is, again, another map, or another, yeah, site, where the basement is bad, pretty much. Like, this is a bad site to defend on. Attackers will usually push from this giant like storage room right here. They'll come through here. There's here, and then there's here, and then there's here. If you decided as an attacker to come through here, you get this room. Now, I mean, pretty much everywhere, but I'm just saying crap. But right now, if you take this side or this room right here, there's this one doorway that you kind of have to worry about. Now, if you have other guys flanking in or breaching in from like this hatch right here and they drop, all you have to do is either get this wall open or this door open, and once you do that, you have like, you have all these angles into sight right here. So if you get 2 or 3 guys, like maybe one here, 2 guys here, maybe one open up that wall, you basically already take the site. And also there's this breach right here for no reason. There's the wall over there. I mean, not the wall. There's the barricade right here, which I kind of like to attack from because, I don't know, it did feel hard to explain while Lairs more aggro-sided, but it's just, I feel like it's very easy to attack on this side. I usually win a lot of rounds attacking on this side. So that's why I chose it as number 1. And again, it's just kind of easy to gain ground on this site, very easy. And this is literally, pretty sure, yeah, this is all soft right here, so you could probably get vert pretty easily. But yeah, I think Lair is probably the hardest site to defend on. Maybe not. I mean, honestly, you could probably reorganize this list any way you want, and I wouldn't mind. I could even put Border in number 1, honestly. Hardest site to defend on, but it kind of just based on how I'm feeling right now. But that was my top 3.